Hi, this is Mark Burnett with the Island Generation. I'm talking about things today that you're gonna miss when you're in the Philippines. For me, it's Southern Maryland crabs. I love these things. I've been eating these things since I was a little kid, and these particular ones are soft shells, very large by the way. I got these at Southern Maryland Crabs and Seafood in Waldorf, Maryland. And as you can see, these crabs are massive. And the neat thing is they ship them all over the United States for you. So I'll put their website up here so you can check it out. But I'm going to show you how to cook these. These are live. Okay? They don't move around anything and they can't pinch you because basically they're really soft. Okay? At this stage. Now, we're going to clean these first. And when we do that, if you're a little squeamish, you might want to not wash. Okay? But that's the first thing we're going to do before we get into the prep. The items you're going to need: Old Bay or JO or some other type of seasoning. You can get that up at Southern Maryland Crabs and Seafood's website. And some flour. And that's it. It's really simple to cook these soft shell crabs, but people find it intimidating. And I'm going to show you how to make it really simple. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is run some water in the sink. We're going to wash our crab. By the way, this one shows the Washington Capitol, which is a female. And I'm going to grab another one here. And this one, this is a good example here, shows the Washington Monument, as we call it around here. And that's a male. So male, female crab. Okay, so we're going to take this one. The thing to remember is, you know, you're basically dealing with a live crab here, but he can't do anything. And we're going to take these, what some people call the lungs, more the gills, because they're actually underwater. So I believe they're gills. And we're going to take these off, just like that. And then we're going to take the bottom off. So we're going to take this apron, because this doesn't cook up too well, and we're just going to pull that off, just like that. Going to leave everything else in place, but this is quite rough, the face, so this is the squeamish part. Okay, we want to take this, come right behind the eye, and cut this, like that. That makes it really easy to eat, and you can eat the whole thing, because when we get done with this, you can eat every part of this, because it's soft shell. And how this forms is when they change their size and they essentially molt or lose the top part of their shell, or I should say their whole shell, when it goes soft like this, they're a peeler, and they come apart, and then the crab is actually in here, has a bigger size, but he is a very, very soft, okay, for a little while. So they hold that softness for you at Southern Maryland Crabs and Seafood. So you got this nice crab you can cook up in the skillet. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this. We'll do this for the male. Same thing. I'm just going to show you on the male here, and then we'll do the rest off camera. And again, I'm just cleaning this out. So it's just a couple steps. Peel this off. Take these out. And a lot of people like to leave in the mustard, which is the inside part in here, like that, which is a fat or liver, and that adds a flavor to it that people love. Okay, and again, we've got this part peeled off, we got that part off. Again, we're going to do this behind the eyes, cut, boom. Okay, so now that we've cut all these, you want to make sure that none of these mouth parts are in here, that we didn't miss any, and because these are a little tough, so you can just pull those out just to make sure. It's the only spot really you can feel them. They're just a little rough, and sometimes the cut doesn't always get them, little edges, so I just take those out, and then we're good to go. Now our next step is to, now that we got our crabs ready, we're going to roll these over here. We're going to bring out some flour. We don't need a lot of flour because this is lightly floured. Okay, and then we're going to take some Old Bay, in this case. Again, whichever seasoning you prefer, and the crab seasoning, and we're going to put some in here. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch sides here. Okay, we're going to put a little in here. I don't want to put a whole lot, because the one thing you don't want to do is overdo the spice on these kind of crab shells. So I'm going to mix some of this in the flour. That's going to be good there. Okay, so what I want to explain about the spices is there's two different kind of ways this is done. One is this is done with a lot of salt in it, and this is seasoning that you would put on top of hard shell crabs when you're steaming them, and it's got quite a bit of salt. If you look here, that's all salt. You do not want to put this on your soft shell crabs. What you want is the Old Bay without the additional salt added, or with your seasoning without the additional salt. Okay, so it's much more finer, okay, and it doesn't have that heavy salt. Okay, so we're going to put that one aside because we're not going to use it. Then we're going to take a crab up here, and as you can see, it is still alive. Okay, and we're going to sprinkle some of this on, and it's going to adhere to the shell. Again, now you can't be too squeamish about these things. They are live crabs, but they taste amazingly good. Now, a lot of people make these in the sandwiches, put a little mayonnaise on there, put a little sandwich together, and it is absolutely amazing. Now, a lot of people deep fry these. I'm not going to do that. You can also put a little in here if you want, but again, take it easy on this. Don't make it too much. And then the idea is we keep doing this with each one, and then we want to put the crab in here one time with the flour. Make sure you close this or you're going to flour everywhere. Give it a little toss. And grabbing. And that's what we want to come out with. Right there. Okay, so that's what we want to see. Okay, so here's all our crabs. And they're looking white as ghost here. And we let this set just a little bit. And now they're ready to put in our fryer. Okay, so we're going to take them. We're going to put them in here. We got this set at 325 degrees. And this is just the skillet. That's all I'm using. Okay. Oh, my camera got to get in here a little closer here. So I'm not deep frying them, but you can. You could go over here into a deep fryer, okay, and fry them. A lot of people do that. Restaurants do that because it's a lot easier than doing it this way. Okay. I particularly like this. It comes out really nice. You get a good crisp. It's not fried as heavy oil-wise. It's really nice. So we don't want to overcrowd this. You can use tongs if you want. I'm going to leave these guys here for the next batch. And we're going to let those cook. And as they cook, we're going to make a turn. Sometimes they pop, so be careful. It'll mess up your island shirt really quickly. Okay, so you let those cook on one side, and we're going to keep turning them. Total cook time, maybe, I don't know. We'll find out here. I just kind of do it by watching them. So I'll watch how long this takes to do, but I think it's about maybe 10 minutes. But we'll find out here. Okay, so now I've been cooking these about 4 minutes on one side. They are popping, by the way. I'm going to do one turn here. I usually like to do more than one. But look what's happening here. This is getting nice and golden. That's what we want. That. So this is, oh, we got to watch it popping here. I got to tell you, these things will pop. My cameraman's going to fly across the room. Come on in here a little more, cameraman. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Now I'm using peanut oil. I know this says vegetable, but I like to reuse containers. So I'm going to let that get a little hot. I can add another one in there. Now these are shrinking up just a bit. These are really meaty though. These are going to be really good. But you want to watch. One exploded a minute ago. They really explode every now and then. So be careful with that. That's 4 minutes on one side so far. Let's let that cook a little further. Alright, so I've added another one in there, so they got some room. I'm now at another 4 minutes, so a total of 8 minutes. And I'm going to do a final turn here. I just want to go back to this side, crisp it up, see how this has gotten nice. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Again, these things might pop. You need to be careful with them. I got to remember that one. Yeah, that one just popped. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. Okay, We're going to give those about 2 more minutes, and then we're going to pull off the first ones we started. So, I'm just making sure these guys, like these are big crabs. I'm kind of doing a little face plant here. So that gets that nice. Okay, so now that we've got our plate here, we're going to take these out. You gotta watch them popping here. This is when they like to pop. There you go. So we got 4 out. Put a couple more back in here. We got our other one timing. Pull him off of here and give him a flip. There he is. You see he's not sitting on something. And that's good. And then these we'll take right to the table. Okay, so here's our crab result. I've got one on the plate here, as you can see. Now, I've also got some butter, which I particularly like. And I'm going to take some of the Old Bay. And also, just so you know, I used unsalted butter because I don't want to combine up that salt there that much. Okay, so here's our shell. Okay, and you can eat the whole thing. Dip it in a little butter. Yeah, I'm going to miss this. Keep in mind, they do have crabs in the Philippines. There are mud crabs and what they call a blue spotted crab. And those are both there. But, wow, the sweetness and greatness of a soft shell crab in Maryland is amazing. Anyway, thank you for watching The Island Generation. Remember also to visit Southern Maryland Crabs and Seafood in Waldorf. They have their own website. I'll put it right here so you can see it because they can ship these to you. And remember us at the Retirement Generation.